problem that we have sometimes when we're using lenses is that they actually bend or change or shape an image different to how we actually physically see it. And that's because of the way that the different lenses are built. This is actually known, or to fix it, it's known as lens correction, trying to correct some of those problems that a lens can create. Quite often you'll notice it more on buildings because of the straight lines that buildings have. So what I wanted to show you today was how the camera raw in Photoshop CS5 has been able to put a new lens correction area in that is just amazing. Now the 3 images that I'm using are just snapshots from a holiday to Sydney, so they're not anything very exciting, but what the camera raw process can do to them is definitely exciting. This first image is just an image of the domestic terminal in Sydney, and as you can see, we've got rather bent roof line and we've got rather bent train line, and although the image itself is, fairly ordinary, it certainly would take quite a lot of work in Photoshop to straighten this image up. Now the thing that amazes me is that although this image is very bent, if I come up here to our lens correction tab and come down to our profile, I can enable lens profile corrections by simply clicking on here, and it automatically picks up the camera that I've used and what make it is and everything, and then corrects to it for me. So I very quickly can make some changes to straighten out the edge of the image itself. Now you can see it does also crop it in a little bit, which might be an issue. I'm pretty sure though we can actually change the in here, the scale. So I can actually bring the scale back down if I wish to, if I want to see all the edges. I can also come in here and do this horizontal thing, so I can actually turn this around so that it's nice and straight as well. And I can also play around with my distortion and that type of thing too. And if I did have any chromatic aberration in here, I could fix that as well. So very, very quickly I've been able to go from a simple image to something that is much cleaner, much more straight and aligned and all that sort of stuff. Let's have another look at another example here. Let's enable our lens correction, and perhaps again I like to see what else is there, particularly in this shot, because that little bit at the bottom there with the windows here is kind of what I want to keep in, but I can still bring that up a little bit if I want, so I can see where it is that I'm taking it to. And last but not least, let's have a look at this one. And again, let's just pull out of there just a little bit. So some smart cookie somewhere has spent a lot of time and effort putting together these profiles for different lenses, for different cameras, and very quickly we are now able to take images that before we wouldn't even look twice at into something that can be quite usable. The best way to see what happens is to go and take some photographs yourself and see what happens when you bring them in here and correct them with the lens corrections. It's absolutely amazing when you look at some of these fisheye images just how much it can be changed.